Hi everyone, welcome back to another gameplay of Infinitode 2. So today guys, I wanted to share with you something regarding leaderboards, some tips and strategies how to get high positions, in the leaderboards, my personal approach. And I'm gonna tell you that I'm not the best player for leaderboards. There are many stronger players than me, and some of them have even YouTube channels. Some of them are going to be active on the Infinitode 2 official Discord server. So I recommend you, if you want to know even better and more in-depth strategies on like every single level, I recommend you to go check those guys out. Like for example, Baiki, Origami, Aluminum Rust, Alex Visol, George, Achidie, Elforowan, these guys are masters in leaderboards. And they're gonna be able to give you a lot more insight and a lot better approaches for each single level. Because remember, in this video, I'm gonna try to give you some general rules and general like strategies to do the leaderboards. But of course, each level is different and is unique. So each level you might want to use different strategies, and that is gonna allow you to get better positions. So that's pretty much it. So general rules about leaderboards. Well, first of all, it's very important that you have your research maxed out, and especially the towers that you know are going to be important, you're going to use. Maxed out, general stats maxed out. You don't need research, prestige research. So that's just an extra, but you don't really need it. It's going to be helpful for leaderboards. The top three right here, very important. Also the modifiers, the abilities, all that stuff. And then the star research. So once again, before you compete on leaderboards, I recommend you to get all 3 stars on every single level, and also to complete all quests, because completing all quests, all 1200 quests, is gonna give you, first of all, the passives on each level, because each quest is gonna give you some buffs that are permanent, that are gonna be active for that particular level, and therefore this can again be pretty helpful in competing for leaderboards and getting higher scores. And not only you get that, but also you get the master trophy. So once you complete all quests, you're gonna get the master trophy. Again, it's nothing like game-changing or groundbreaking, but it's pretty useful, So yeah, and overall, getting all the trophies also helps. Some trophies are gonna be worse than others. But definitely, getting more trophies, getting more of this stuff is going to be useful. And as I said before, having all the stars is going to allow you to get even more research on the star research. And this is my personal one. I know that some other players, they like a lot getting the extra bounty, so having a total of 7 bounties that they can place. And so they don't go like for these 4, I think. They avoid getting this 4 and they go for the extra bounty, which again is just a different approach. Personally speaking, like I think that already 6 bounties is more than enough. Normally the 7th one is going to be super expensive. Early on, you're not going to be able to place it, so it's just for those levels where you can survive like past wave 250 or 300. So yeah, but that's just me. And as I said before, I'm not the best player to talk about leaderboards, so. So yeah, that's just my approach. So there are some upgrades which are going to be more important than others, and you're going to definitely get those. And yeah, that's just, generally speaking, the most important things about leaderboards. Like before you even try to go for leaderboards, remember, get as many trophies as possible, complete all research, get all 3 stars, get all the quests done, and yeah, you're going to be ready then to have as many helps and as many buffs on your leaderboards for your tryouts. Now, when you approach each level, you can select, of course, abilities. Now, in my opinion, these 6 abilities right here are gonna be the abilities you're gonna use for like more than 95% of levels. Sometimes you wanna change Smoke Bomb for Nuke. Nuke is gonna require more energy, but can affect like the entire map. Is gonna do more damage. So yeah, depending on the level, sometimes Smoke Bomb can be changed with a Nuke. But I would say that overall, like these 6 abilities are going to be your must-go. Especially like Overload, 100% needed, always. Thunder, Ball Lightning, Firestorm. These 4, like you're always going to go for these 4. Fireball, like sometimes can be changed with something else, like Loic, in certain maps. But again, like I will argue that these 6 are gonna be in majority of the cases, the ones you're gonna equip. And then going to the actual gameplay. Now, there are different ways, as I said before. Each level is unique, and so you might have a different way to approach it. But overall, I can give you some tips about the early, mid, and late game. Now, early on is very important to generate coins. So you're gonna place possibly only one tower, which is gonna be, in most cases, Tesla. And just search for some tiles where you have an extra coins generation, so more coins from killing enemies. In this case, on this level, there are not. But for example, on level 5.4, which I did the other day, and I improved my position, there is one. See, this one. This is very, very important, because in that way, in the early game, you're gonna be placing only Tesla. Tesla is one of the best towers early game, and again, it's a tower that in most cases you're gonna use. And you can already get bonus coins, like 50% in this case, bonus coins from those enemies killed, which is super nice. Because at the beginning, you wanna go for the economy. So economy means that you're gonna just focus on the bounties. Placing the bounties, each bounty that you place is gonna actually give you, it's gonna make the other one more expensive. And so yeah, for the early game, like there are different approaches. Some people argue that you always have to start the wave at a certain fixed time. Other ones are gonna just look at this +2, and with like a couple seconds left, they're gonna click the next wave incoming. Yeah, there are different approaches. And as I said before, there are some who are gonna be slightly better, some who are gonna be slightly worse. But yeah, this is just overall. So in the early game, remember, the important thing is going for bounties. Now, when to place bounties? This is a question that many players have. And on the Discord server, you can actually find a page that is gonna tell you, depending on the efficiency of the bounty, when is the best timing to place the next bounty. So considering, see, the bounty is gonna cost 400. So I'm gonna be left with 79 coins. But see that my efficiency right now is 14. Now I'm gonna just show you here something. If I place the next bounty right now, from 17, is gonna go to now 5, right? And therefore this means that the coins I'm gonna earn are gonna be less. It's gonna be 5% of 32.50. So I will be earning only 5% of 65 coins. And therefore this is less than what I was earning before with only one bounty. See here the problem? So that's why there are these tables already done and prepared by the players themselves, which are gonna tell you where is the best timing which you can place the next bounty, so that you can keep the efficiency going up and you don't really lose the coins. So again, that's another thing that I recommend to go check out. Now, personally speaking, I don't use that as a method. I just take a look at some numbers and I place the bounties when I'm very close at those numbers. So in this case, for example, the next bounty is gonna cost 400. So I just multiply this number times 3. And that's pretty much where I'm gonna place the bounty. So when I'm gonna have 1200 coins or around 1200 coins, that's when I'm gonna place it. It might not be the best, it might not be the most suited, but for me, it kind of works in that way. I don't have to look at tables, or I don't have to look at too many other things. And yeah, now if you see that this happens, that some enemies, because of the efficiency of Tesla, some enemies are going to be harder to kill than others, and you can kill them right away, you can either level Tesla up, like this, level 1, level 2, or you can place another tower. In this case, for example, another tower that's very good is a flamethrower, very early on. Like it synergizes very well with Tesla, with the weaknesses of Tesla, and it just damage over time is very good. So you can use this tower. Yeah, the middle one, you're gonna go for the middle, and then the third ability normally on flamethrower when you're playing on leaderboards. And yeah, sometimes flamethrower might not be a good idea. So sometimes rather than flamethrower, you can go for something like sniper, or something like minigun, or something like Venom. These choices are not exclusive. So you can use both Venom and Sniper and Flamethrower and a minigun. So it just depends. It just depends on the coins you have, depends on which stage you're playing, which level. And so again, the early game, remember, the most important thing is placing your bounties, placing at least 3 bounties. Then after you place 3 bounties, you can start going for the auto button, in my opinion. Just disable instant, but go with auto, so you don't have to worry that much about like having to click, you know, and select the wave. Now, very important, the use in the early game of Thunder. So Thunder in any wave that your Tesla might be struggling. So for example, you see here, these fast enemies, rather than using like having to place Flamethrower or having to place another tower and defeat those enemies in that way, I can use Thunder on those waves. And Thunder actually gives you more coins from each enemy killed. So 1 or 2, depending, you know. And I recommend you to keep using Thunders in the early game, like until like wave 25, 30. So until like you have only 4 Thunders remaining, or 3. That's why you're gonna keep going. So in that way you can generate as many coins as possible. And as I said before, you can place your bounties, you know, keeping a good efficiency. Just look at the cost and try to place them respectively. So again, here another wave of fast. I'm gonna use double Thunder. Another one right here. So I would use Thunder. And I have 4 now remaining. So what this means is that now I need to place a tower. I placed already like 3 bounties, going for the 4th one. So I can go, as I said before, for the Flamethrower. In this case, in this level, Flamethrower is pretty good. But I messed up here. I'm gonna go for the second ability on last. And yeah, so in this particular level, you know, these 2 towers are pretty good early on. But you just want to build on your economy. So try to keep your towers as low level as possible. And try to make sure that you go for the bounties, you exploit the extra coins from Tesla. So you want to keep your Tesla like a bit more than your Flamethrower. So in that way, most of your kills are going to be from Tesla. And so you can benefit from the extra coins. Yeah, just keep placing the bounties whenever your efficiency is good. And that's it. So normally speaking, you're going to place 5 bounties, sometimes 6. So depending on the level. Placing 7 early on, in my view, it's just too much of a waste on coins. You're gonna need like your towers upgraded, and you're gonna need something more. Now so let's suppose here I placed already the bounties. I've done everything right, and so I placed all the bounties I need to place. So let's suppose I place here the 5 bounties, and that's it. Like here this is a level where I could place like 6, and I would place 6 bounties. But let's suppose I've already done it. Once you place all your bounties, the next stage is placing all the miners. So remember, you want to stay above the maximum efficiency. So you're going to keep the efficiency at 100. So take a look here at how many total coins is going to be needed for that maximum efficiency. And then you place the miners. So you place 1 here. Always go for the resource that is the lowest. So in this case here, Matrix. So I'm going to go for Matrix miner, not the Infer. So here is Vector. I'm going to go for a Vector miner. Infer in this case, only Infer is Matrix, right? And again, just think above, this is a scalar, vector, this is going to be tensor, this is going to be matrix again. And in case you have placed already too many, for example, you see here I've placed too many matrices. So for these last 2, I'm going to place like one tensor, which is cheaper, see? 1 tensor, and then another one could be, yeah, another scalar, something like that. And that's it. So you place all the miners very quickly, as quickly as you can, after you place all the bounties. Next is placing the modifiers. So you go for the mining speed modifiers. Just remember, if your towers are struggling, just level them up. Make sure that you are capable of killing the enemies pretty quickly, so you can get the extra coins, the extra score, and so forth. And yeah. Now at this stage, you can start thinking about like placing a freezing tower as well, like upgrading a bit, extra percentage damage, very useful. You can place another tower. In this case, for example, it's pretty good placing a Venom tower as well. And yeah, you can go for like a damage modifier, something like that, right? And this is your middle game. The most important thing here is to try to, again, get your economy going, get the coins, and then start upgrading. Choose one miner that normally is a miner that is the cheapest one, so like a scalar one, that is receiving as much speed from the mining speed from the modifiers as possible. So it could be either this miner here or this one. It's the same. So in this case, I'm gonna go for the left one because it has slightly more double time, depending to this one, because I placed it earlier. And you wanna get it like level 5. You're gonna just max it out. Always remember, make sure the coins spent in the total coins, you never go below the efficiency of the bounties. So you're always earning like maximum coins. And yeah, this should be it. There we go, so level 5. And at this stage, you should be like between wave 60 and 70, right? If you have placed like all the bounties, you have done everything correctly. And here what I recommend is to like get the bounties, get the miners that are not really repeated that much, like get them all like level 1 or around like level 1. Also the ones that have the extra speed here, very important. In this case, I'm gonna get all of them level 1. Here we go. So I got all the miners level 1. And then here, depending on the wave that you're at, you can try to go for another miner level 5, or just sticking and saving up your coins, because the next phase is going to be overload. Overload is where you gain most of your score. So in this case, for example, I might go for another, in this case for Vector, it should be the same cost of Scalar, by slightly more value. And now overload window is between wave 70 and 80, sometimes wave 85, so slightly later on, but don't really wait that much because like enemies get tougher and tougher very quickly. And if you use overload too late, your towers might not be strong enough to handle them. So this is the stage where you wanna make your towers, you're gonna start upgrading them. You know, you wanna keep them very close to level 20, if not level 20, you wanna have them like very close to that. And again, in this case, I'm gonna go also for Venom. Let's go for some freezing as well. And yeah, this is where you start preparing for overload. In this case, I'm gonna just keep the miner level 3 here, the Vector one. And this wave 75. Normally, like around wave 75 is where I like to use my overloads. And now what you do here is you sell the most expensive bounties. The ones that are gonna give you more than 1,000 coins. So you get like a lot of coins that you can use. See here? Like generally speaking, I like to keep always like 3 bounties. Sometimes I keep only 2, but because of the fact that even if I sell it, the amount of coins I get back are very little. So like it's not gonna give me that much. And now this is where you go for a very particular strategy. So in this case, for example, I'm gonna sell this bounty as well, so that I can get another modifier, more speed, right, more score. Then here, Crusher, probably a Blast, this one level 8, and this is where you wanna just max your towers, like you wanna use all your coins remaining, you wanna make your towers super strong. That's pretty much what you wanna do. And this is where you use overload. You wanna use like 10. Sometimes if you haven't done your defenses properly, or if you're struggling too much, you can use like 7 or 8, but I recommend you to try to go for 10. And yeah, you disable here auto, right? You want to disable it. And at this stage, like you should be able to have your flamethrower almost level 20, or if not level 20. Your Tesla also should be pretty close to level 20. Yeah, you should be able to have pretty good setup as well with freezing. You should have some more freezing percent. And with the coins you're earning in these levels, you can either like upgrade your Tesla a bit more. If you're struggling too much, sometimes I recommend also to get the Crusher like up to level 4 or 5, and also to get the Blast like level 3. So like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, right? The stun is pretty nice. And you can use these extra coins you're still earning in this phase to either upgrade your towers more. Always go for more power. Never go for the ultimate on Tesla. Always go for more power. And or you can upgrade your miners, right? Or you can place another mining speed modifier. Like you can do all these things depending on how you're doing. Remember, you can also use abilities. So if you're struggling too much, you can use like a ball lightning, or you can use like a thunder, and those can help you. Even if you leak some lives, it's not the end of the world, so don't worry too much, even if you leak some lives. And see my score here, see how much score I'm earning. all because of the overload and because of all the insane amount of speed and resources I'm earning. Now overload is almost over, so here, I don't know, for this heli wave I could have used like a ball lightning, to be honest. I'm gonna lose like quite a lot of lives, but that's fine, you know. And now overload is over, so this is it. Once your overload is over, you wanna like sell all the towers you place, like the blast, the crusher, no, everything like that. You wanna sell it. You wanna go back to your bounties. You're gonna replace again your bounties, and you have to build the economy again. In this case, of course, enemies, because the overloads are over, are gonna be much weaker. So because you have upgraded, almost maxed your towers, you should be very, very safe, and it should be pretty easy to destroy all these waves. So you can again just focus on placing the bounties once again, which I'm gonna do right here. And again, you're gonna place like 5 or 6, depending on how well you're doing and the level, the stage. And this is where you approach late game. Now, again, I'm not gonna show you everything because otherwise the video is gonna be too long. But I'm gonna give you some tips. Now here I'm gonna just sell, just sell some stuff just to get to give you like what you want to do. Right now, the late game strategy in any level, right? No matter the enemies, no matter what type of enemies are coming, is always the same. You wanna build a Gauss. And you're gonna build a Gauss close, of course, to a miner. So that's why you have to mine early on. And the wave normally where you wanna start building Gauss is normally like wave 140, 150, right? Because that's when your towers are gonna start struggling, like your Tesla, your Flamethrower, your Venom. Even if you max them out, they're not gonna really be able to destroy the enemies that quickly. They're gonna start sucking up, and you don't wanna really, like, you can use abilities early on, but you don't wanna use that many. So you wanna like be able to damage the enemies as much as possible with your towers, and then when you can't do that anymore, that's when you use the abilities. So like you build your Gauss. In this case, for example, it's a very good spot right here, right? Close to 2 miners, and then you can place like up to 3 modifiers close to it to make it stronger. And in this case, you attack you can attack the center. Now Gaussos, you can use different strategies on Gauss. You can, for example, make Gauss aim towards a crusher. So, for example, here I could sell this, and I could place crusher. And no matter where enemies are going to be coming from, I can make my Gauss aim towards the center of crusher, like this. And therefore, all the enemies taken by crusher are going to be hit by Gauss. And therefore, this can allow you to hit like multiple enemies at once, both in the path and also held by crusher. So this is, again, a pretty good strategy to do it. You can also use some experience modifiers to make your Gauss level up faster. You're always going to go for the first ability and for the third one. Just ignore the second one unless you're going for a strategy where you're using your basic tower, the basic ultimate combo with Gauss to like earn tons of experience. But normally speaking, like 1 in 3 is going to be your go-to abilities. Flamethrower, very important. You go for the ultimate here, and you keep the one ability here from Flamethrower active. Like, you don't want to go for cold fire right away. You want to keep using the burning of Flamethrower as much as possible, and only like after wave 200, something like that, that's when you want to go for cold fire. So again, it's something very late that you want to do. Once your Gauss is maxed, generally speaking, like, you can go for the power, because that's going to give you a lot more damage to your Gauss, or you can go for the ultimate. In case you have 2 or 3 miners, sometimes going for the ultimate is going to give you more double time, and so your miners can mine more and therefore can give you more score. So it just depends. Like, sometimes I go for one, sometimes I go for the other. And here's where you want to build many Gausses. So in this case, in this level, there aren't really many spots where you can place Gausses. You can place like one there, and then you can go for another one right here, and then that's it. Like, you can't really get that many more. In this case, for example, this one, I could build it slightly different. I could build it like here and attack to this direction, and here I could place another crusher. Again, like, I'm doing all this thinking about the late game, but imagine like enemies sucking up, enemies moving, and like enemies being held by the crusher here and so forth. You can snipe them with this Gauss. So again, it just depends, and this is like my personal approach, but it could be different. And again, here, like, once your Gauss is max level, you can go again for the minus speed modifiers, right? So you can get more speed. Here I should have like a bounty, And yeah, you just keep playing. Remember, Gausses are gonna do millions of damage. Like once you start upgrading your Gausses, they're gonna start doing a lot of damage, and that's gonna be your main source of damaging the enemies. And then you can either one-shot them with the Flamethrower ultimate or with abilities. And abilities usage is gonna be inevitable. Later on, you're gonna have to use them. Just use them wisely. So make them, recharge. And sometimes you're gonna use a global ability. Sometimes you're gonna use a local one. Sometimes for nothing. Just manage yourself. There are many videos about that, like I can discuss in detail. Depending on what you're doing, it might be different. And yeah, you're gonna just keep doing this process until eventually you die. You just can't. You don't have any more energy. Your tower's just overwhelmed, and so that's gonna be your demise. So yeah, that's just my personal approach to leaderboards. As I said before, I'm not the best player for this. There are many guides, many stronger players than me that can give you like an insight for each single level. But overall, I will argue that these are the most important tips. So early game, economy, Tesla is your must-go tower, getting your bounties. Then in middle game, placing your miners, getting some miners upgraded level 5. Then you go for overload. And then for the late game, it's all about Flamethrower, Cold Fire, and the ultimate, then Gausses, and the Crushers, stun, knockback, even more freezings. Sometimes going more freezings is more percentage damage, which again is pretty useful. Plus you can go for the ultimate, which is gonna make the snowballs. Then later on you can even sell the -5 modifiers, and you can go something like this, so you make your cows even stronger, or like something like this, right? So it just depends on what you prefer. And yeah, you just try to survive as long as you can. And yeah, you can already see that just with the overloads, like it's just wave 100, but I already got like into the top 1% in terms of score. So you can see here how important it is to use overload correctly, and to use like the early game and the middle game correctly. The late game, even if you mess it up, even if you don't do all things correctly, but you should already be in pretty high positions. So yeah, that's it guys. Let me know if you have some comments or questions, and I hope you enjoyed. See ya, bye bye. Thanks for watching.